Woolsey Fire, for me, was a shock.
The Woolsey Fire came a lot quicker than we expected. Nobody expected it to hop the 101 freeway.
But the winds were so bad that day that it just blew it right this way and came over the hill.
Early on, I put my car in the right direction, got my wallet and money in the car, and the dog food.
A lot of people thought that there would be a knock on the door, time to get out, and that just didn't happen.
My daughter-in-law called me and said, "Get ready, it's coming this way."
My neighbor's house was on fire. I was told I got out of here within 15 minutes.
We looked that way, because that's where her house is, and there was just a big ball of fire. She just, oh my God, that's my house.
You know, I saw a helicopter fly by, and I thought, oh my God, looks like Seminole burned. And at that point, you're just thinking, I hope all of my friends are okay.
When I first came back, it was like a war zone.
It just looked like a war zone.
It looked like a war zone.
Everything was gone, and it was all twisted metal, debris everywhere.
Broken water mains and little fires smoldering and destruction everywhere. You looked, just so traumatic.
You don't think it's gonna happen to you. The lottery's never gonna happen to me. Why would the fire?
I kept saying, I don't think my house burned. I don't think my house burned. She finally had to tell me it did. Yeah.
My name is Michelle Benson. I am a disaster case manager with Lutheran Social Services in partnership with the Los Angeles Woolsey Region Long-Term Recovery Group. It's a little bit of a mouthful, but I work specifically with survivors of the Woolsey Fire.
I'm Joan Erno, and my house burned in the Woolsey Fire. She was in the fire too, yes.
My name is Rosemary Hemm. I've been living here about 13 years before the fire hit.
So what do you think? Margot?
My name is Melody. I'm a mom and a grandma, first and foremost. I live here in Seminole Springs.
Seminole Springs started out as a resort destination for a lot of Hollywood people back in the 50s. And then it grew into more of a mobile home destination.
It's considered a mobile home park, but they are manufactured homes. And then they do deliver it, whether it's in single wide, double wide, or we're having a lot of triple wides coming in, 2 shorter and 1 longer piece.
I consider it almost a Barbie doll house because you can select what you want, where you want to put it, and you're really designing your own house.
It's such an amazing community. Living there with the mountains around, the gorgeous scenery, and just the type of people that enjoy that environment, those are your neighbors. And it's a great place to live.
There is a big sense of community here. I have to say, because of the fire, many of us that didn't know one another were thrown together, and it became a stronger community, I believe.
There's a lot of people when I drive around that I can say hi to, and I have friends in the park that we play cards once a week. Oh, it's going to be nice when everybody's back.
There's such a sense of peace, and I've only felt that feeling on vacation. And if you can relate to that feeling, that's what I feel every day coming home or driving through the canyon.
Seminole Springs Mobile Home Park was one of the largest hit areas from the Woolsey Fire. Over 110 residents' homes were burnt and destroyed. Of the 110 homes that burned down, about 10 home lots are being sold. So a majority are coming back. In the fire, they lost everything. Asking people why return to that area, makes sense.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question. It's home to us.
Because it's my home. I just always wanted to come back, and I slept like a baby the first night.
The first night was great. As a matter of fact, I didn't even have electricity. I didn't care, but I was just glad to get home. This is where I'm going to bury my bone. I'm never going to move.
There is no guarantee, but the reality is to go somewhere else really isn't a big option either financially for a lot of folks. They can only afford to return there. They need help. They're not able to manage their own recovery on their own. So other groups like the Tzu Chi, they come in and they help.
My name is Sabrina Ho. I'm a program manager at Tzu Chi Foundation. I'm also involved with the Woolsey Fire long-term recovery and also the grant management for this Woolsey Fire.
My name is Ferrara. I have been in Tzu Chi for over 25 years. I am responsible for the charity department as a volunteer.
The Woolsey Fire is one of the largest fires in the history of Southern California. 97,000 acres were burned.
A lot of people, they become homeless right in a few minutes. They really need help. They don't know where to turn to.
You have built a family, you built a house, you built the community all the way to become zero. I put myself in that situation. I don't know where to start.
So there's a lot of different avenues of assistance out there. It's just so overwhelming. They don't know which way to go.
We receive a lot of client referrals from Michelle Benson. It's so important to have a long-term recovery group all combined together to help.
We can reach out to each other for help and refer our clients and say, you're going to be able to get assistance here.
That's good. Oh, you're welcome.
The first response team will be our emergency response team. They will go to the site when it's safe, and we will do the relief right on the spot.
Welcome back. We started have to think about the safety of these survivors, and we also have to think about the food, how they will be eating, clothing, because they just coming out from the fires just with two hands.
We want to be there to help them and help the community understand this is still going on. Fire recovery is not fast.
It took longer to get home than anybody expected. I was really close. I thought I could make it on my own, and then the COVID hit.
I just can't imagine you being hit by Woolsey Fire, and then before you can even rebuild yourself, and another huge thing hit by COVID-19.
The timeline has slowed, and when you're at the finish line, to hit one more disaster has emotionally just been one too many. We're just at a breaking point.
Disaster after disaster, emotional strike after emotional strike. When is this going to stop? They really need our community leaders to be there for them.
Hey, Debbie, thank you so much for the updates.
I'm really not seeing. I see a haze, but it's an immediate panic mode. You just realize how underlying it always is, even when you think you're over it. Yeah. So
My friend whose house burned down as well called me and said there was a fire at Malibu Creek State Park, which is just over the hill. It would be this direction. It looks contained because I can't see anything.
It's officially stopped with 15 acres total. No structure threatened and no evacuation. So
That's great, because there's no wind to speak of, a little breezy. I guess that post-traumatic stress or something is right there because it was a more of an immediate reaction of a little bit of panic instead of a calm, okay, where's that box and that one that I said I was going to take? And it's scary. It's really scary. So this is the other fire devastation. Don't even know where to start here. It was rebuilding. So I'm trying to start from the necessary stuff first, which is mailbox, house numbers, and fence for my dog. Then I'll get to all this.
Melody was a unique case. She was kind of a double fire situation.
I had a fire in 2014 that was in my husband's shop, and it was considered totaled, and I needed to order a new one.
Her new home was set to arrive the week after the Woolsey Fire hit in 2018. So it destroyed the last of the damaged home she had, and then she wasn't able to bring in her replacement home. That gap of that week left her uninsured.
So it was a huge financial burden, and my marriage didn't survive that, and then I consequently lost my ex-husband. We were still really close just in May.
Because of her, I would say the depression, it's really difficult for her to stand up on her own foot.
You do need that help or that leg up, and it was all so close but just out of reach. Tzu Chi, they stepped in and said, okay, look, what are you gonna do?
Good morning, Melody.
Oh my goodness, how are you? You know, with Tzu Chi's help, I was able to get my career started.
Tzu Chi was great with getting her back into work mode, funding to buy work supplies, get her realtor business started back up again, and actually has a couple clients now.
It felt like hope, you know, and that somebody had your back, you know, kind of a thing. Now I feel really great being back here. I look around and think, man, I got a lot of work to do still. But just to be home and have a home again is just so important.
Welcome to my house. For a minute with COVID, I almost made this to a salon. I thought, well, if I go belly up, I'll just bring it home. And there's my Harley, or what was left of it. It was a collector's edition, 100-year anniversary. It was beautiful. I kept a lot of the burnt glass from after the fire. I was able to find some of my jewelry even. The melted glass, some of it really just augmented into the strangest things. Like this was my mom's swan table vase thing that we kept fruit in. My house is in the same spot. Everybody has their same spot and kept their spot. I wanted to keep it small because I have dogs, and I'm putting a yard in.
Rosemary is 65 years old lady. She is a cancer survivor.
I got the cancer first, and then the fire came, and then I had to redo my hip, and then the COVID came. So it really was one thing after another, and I just had to stay positive and get through it. Good. There's nothing else you can do.
Happy Sunday.
Yes, thank you. Happy Sunday to you, too.
Besides the financial help to these clients, we always call them and check with them. Make them feel you are not alone. We are with you all the time.
How is this pandemic affect your area?
My business is suffering a lot because of it. I do have a barbershop. My shop is in PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, and I have anywhere from the worker bees like me to celebrities. So it is very eclectic.
Maybe leave a little bit of the length, that sort of thing. Yep. Okay.
The fire took a big chunk of my clients away, and then the COVID really did the number for it. Some of my clients, they're in that 65 plus group, and they're scared. They're just scared.
During this pandemic time, her immune system is very low. She really cannot work. Once she doesn't work, she didn't get any income at all. So that's why the financial burden is really, really heavy for her right now.
Rosemary is a great example of how it takes a village to help a person, because she needs to have a manufactured mobile home, and that costs about $50,000. We had all these nonprofit organizations get together and then help out a piece of pie.
The Los Angeles Woolsey Region Long-Term Recovery Group brings all these different groups together. The Buddhist Tzu Chi, the Red Cross, the Salvation Army, Calvary Community Church, all these groups in this area that are able to help because they understand we are all one big community.
It was really amazing to see them all work together. It healed me, I think. It healed my heart. I hadn't seen that kind of love before.
You know, it's just 10, 12.
Oh, it's only 12 after 10?
Yes.
Oh my God, I've been up since 7:30, I think.
That's early for you.
My first night there.
It'll be 2 years in November. Never thought it would take that long, ever. Oh, a U-Haul, yay. So, I was leasing a home with my son and my daughter-in-law and my 2 grandkids. It was kind of a bonding time. I'm just gonna get out of the way. They took care of me. I'm so glad I had them. I'm sorry their house burned down.
It was a double whammy for Joan because her son's home also burned, but at least she had them there. Joan is a retired senior on a fixed income. Those folks are considered vulnerable when disaster hits. They don't have as much insurance or savings to be able to prepare for what might be entailed in rebuild.
1, 2, 3. It's a very expensive area, so the rent is very, very high. And these people, they cannot afford to have this high rent. They are suffering. That's why we come out and help them with their rent or some of their living expenses.
They gave me money, which was a big help. This is my home, so coming back was wonderful. Everybody's safe. My little Annie's safe. I kind of miss my family. It was lonesome at first, but they're over here all the time, so that's good.
You can see her spirits lifted. Even though it's not completely done, it doesn't matter. The fact that she's in her home, on her street, it's just been wonderful.
I do admire the energy and resilience that Joan has. From ground zero to be able to rebuild, it takes a lot of gut and a lot of love. And I appreciate that Tzu Chi be a part of her life. Yay! To allow us to be able to assist her during the most difficult time. I appreciate that.
When the fire first happened, I just thought, oh my gosh, all that stuff. I'm almost 80 years old and I had things to give to my grandkids.
I lost my mom's crystal, all the china, all the silver, my coin collection, my stamp collection, my Girl Scout uniform, that sort of thing.
I had my husband's ashes in my house. Of course, I just felt bad for him. He had to burn again. So it's just like, oh my gosh.
Now that I'm unpacking, I keep thinking, oh, what did I have in, that area, or where is, and then I realize it's just gone.
People even came out at that time to sift through your property to see if you could find anything that you might want.
I did lose a lot of old pictures.
Oh my God, all my photo albums are gone.
All my pictures of my kids when they were little, and everything's gone. It's just sad. But we have to go on, don't we? Yeah.
I find myself now not wanting to get attached to anything, but I want to be attached because that's kind of a home thing too.
At some point, it's almost liberating. It's gone, I don't think about it, I'll never replace it. Brush yourself off and carry on. That's the only thing you can do. You have to carry on. You have to.
Oh, hi, welcome to my home.
Go on.
Great.
Yeah.
Tzu Chi gave me a bank and said, put a couple pennies in a day and eventually we can help others. So I have the grandkids here every Monday, and one of their things that we do together is that we sit down and they put in their coin and they pick what they wish that it could be used for.
I wish for a family to have food.
Okay.
I wish for a kid to have a bicycle.
A bicycle.
Or a scooter.
Wow.
I will wish for shelter so the grandma can be with her grandkids
And spend time with them.
Yeah. Feel how heavy it is.
I know. I just know.
I like the bamboo bag. The philosophy of the Tzu Chi Foundation, you put all the small changes together, you can make a big change to other people. We love to see this cycle of love to help each other.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Spread your love, spread your care to other people. That's really a beautiful thing.
They really showed you even more than the things that you got. You really learned about love because they really opened their hearts to everybody. I don't cry easy, but it was tears of joy. And I learned more about loving strangers.
When they share their sorrow, I like to hear the story. When they say their story, kind of relief for them. Made me feel I'm the lucky one. I'm so blessed.
So anything that you need, please don't hesitate to let us know. Working with them, it's really enhanced my life. It's enriched my life on that. So I really appreciate the survivors to let me be a part of their life and to be able to assist them at the time of need.
What I get out of these relationships is that satisfaction of seeing them at home and, like, my couch is where I want it to be. That makes me so happy for somebody because it gets them back to normal. That's what I get out of this, is just joy and helping people get their joy back. Lord, I'm just so thankful that Joan is home. And be with Joan's family as well, so they are comforted in knowing that she is safe here in her new home.
Thank you, Lord, for all these wonderful, wonderful people that helped me move in. I just couldn't have done it without them. They were just great. Michelle, you've been wonderful to me, and my daughter-in-law, Diane, has been wonderful too. I just thank everybody. Thank you.
My experience with Tzu Chi was wonderful. I just think it's a wonderful thing that people reach out. People reach out, and you don't realize until you're in that predicament how people reach out to you.
I can't wait to see it be rebuilt. I picture it in a year. Next springtime is my favorite up here, and the hills are all green and new homes, and my grandkids, they'll maybe have grass and koi in my pond again, and the laughter, and I'm just praying as many people that lived here will be able to come back